Dave Soberi alongside head coach Lauro from Marymount, California University. He started this program from scratch. So first of all, take us back to what that experience was like.
Well, it was challenging in the beginning. We had no field, no players, and to go up and I have no formal head coaching experience at the college level. I came from a different level. So to go recruit and sell a product that wasn't even existent is difficult to, go to the families and say, look, believe in me and trust me and we're going to make something great. And it was a long road, but the first year we got it done. We organized securing the facility over here. We played the Major League Baseball Academy here in Compton. It's an amazing field. We made some contacts with a lot of scouts, so the players are starting to come over. And now this year, our first year was difficult. We had about 30 players. This year we had over 70 players on a roster. We had to turn players away. So in 3 years, we've come a long way.
And you talked about selling kids, and you've sold kids from across the country. I see you have a kid from New York, you have a couple kids from Arizona and Northern California. So what was ultimately the sales pitch for them?
I guess you'd have to ask them, but my opening line would always be that I'm a baseball dad first. I have 3 boys. My son just graduated from USC, played baseball at a college level. My son, Joey's actually on this team, and I have another son that's a 10th grader. So I grew up, I explained to the families, look, I understand the frustrations of the game, how difficult the game could be, and, just trying to keep your head up and play. And I think that might have been, the ice on the cake of some of these kids coming across far away, and just their parents believed in me and trusted me. So it's a great feeling, a great honor to have.
Now, logistically, it might have been a little bit of a tough first go-around, but still, you end up playing in the NAIA tournament. So what was that experience like just in your first year of the program?
That was amazing. Some of these kids never even been on an airplane. So we actually went to, our opening round was in Vancouver, Canada. So we played UBC in that tournament. It was crazy. The kids had a great time. It was a great facility and experience I'll never forget. And our first year to actually represent our conference, it was amazing. I got a great coaching staff. Couldn't do it without them. And, everything just clicked. It's great. Great year for us.
Speaking of a great year, I know Cole Henderson's a guy who had a great year as the freshman of the year. Talk about some of the returning guys that we look forward to seeing this season.
Cole's one of the guys. Cole came up as freshman, like you said, freshman second baseman of the year last year. We actually had one of our seniors graduate who was a NAIA All-American honorable mention, Dylan Hatch. Well, we replaced him with several guys. Riley Simmons from Sacramento. We looked for big things from him. Randy Rubio, who actually started here at Compton JC. Ted Diltz, who's a transfer student from St. Bonaventure. So we've got a lot of talent. Josh McGurr is our ace pitcher, and we got a lot of senior leadership there. So we should be, better than last year. That's my expectations.
And that kind of blends perfectly into what I was going to ask. What do you expect for this season? How are you going to build upon last year's performance?
Well, we definitely want to, win our division, make it the conference playoffs, and go farther than we did last year. I mean, that's a bottom line. That's our goal from the get-go. And after that, whatever we can do, we can do. We're going to fight and scratch and claw for everything we can get, and just play exciting baseball for the Mariners fans.
And I know it's just the start of this season, but so far, what makes this team different or special for you?
For this season, the depth we have. Last year, we actually went to a few games. We only had 15 guys eligible. We had a lot of injuries. We had a small roster. So we're 3 or 4 deep in several positions. And making a lineup out here in our first game is difficult to figure out who we're going to play, where we're going to go. So that's, probably the biggest change this year is we have a lot of depth and a lot of options.
Yeah, I have to say I saw about 60 kids, including redshirts, on the roster, the initial roster. So that's a ton of kids.
Yeah, we like I said, we had to cut it off at 70. We had 70 kids come down and try out. I didn't want to cut anybody. I told them, hey, you believed in me, I'm going to believe in you. I'm going to give you time to make it. And, we travel with 35 roughly, so that's our travel roster. So we can rotate and mix and match on different games and days, and some guys with injuries and so forth. So you actually need the depth at our level. So we play a lot of games, sometimes up to 6 games in a week. So the more players, the better for us.
But, then that speaks a lot about the program you've built, and just, this is your second season, and already you have 70 kids coming out for the team, and like you said, you actually had to turn a few kids away, but still all these kids is obviously a great thing to see for this university.
Yeah, so we're very excited for the future, too. We actually have 19 freshmen, I believe, come on this team this year, and they're talented. So, we got, I think, about 15 seniors leaving this year, so the freshmen should step up and replace them. So the depth is there. The leadership there is this year's there. So in already our phones are blowing up our coaches and my recruiters for next year's kids that want to come over. So there's a lot of talent here in the South Bay. The South Bay has been neglected for years. I played at San Pedro High School 30 years ago, and it seems like it was always difficult to get kids noticed in this area. So we're here from El Segundo down to Huntington Beach, all those high schools. Any of the kids out there want to come play, just give me a call.
Last but not least, what are you looking forward to most with this unit, with this team this season?
You know, we had a couple special kids coming off big-time injuries, had to sit out a couple years, and this is their last hurrah. So, you know, we want to make it special for them. We want to hoist that banner, you know, conference champions, and go to the playoffs. That's our most exciting thing that we're looking forward to this year.
Thanks so much for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you.